Okay, I am expecting at least one more commissioner, Commissioner Coleman, to join us momentarily. However, I will go ahead and get us started. I know everyone has important things to do. Let's go ahead and go on the record. And I just lost Bev.
I'm ready.
Oh, thank you. I got confused when I couldn't see you there. Thank you. Let's go on the record. First, I would ask that everyone please mute themselves unless speaking. That will hold down on the noise level and prevent any audio feedback. One thing to note, if you are experiencing any type of lag, one solution that the Commission has found in doing these WebEx online hearings is to shut off your video. We do appreciate when you're speaking having the video on. That helps tremendously for the court reporter to identify who is speaking. And we have Commissioner Coleman joining us.
I am here.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate hearing from you. We were just getting started. The Commission, Public Service Commission, has set this time for a local public hearing to give members of the public a chance to comment about Confluence River's utility operating company's general rate increase. That is file number WR-2023-0006. And if excuse me, if I did not say it already, today is June 14th, 2023. The Public Service Commission regulates the rates charged by public utility companies in Missouri to ensure that those rates are just and reasonable. The Commission also regulates the quality of service and safety of the operations of public utilities. There are 5 commissioners. They are appointed by the governor and confirmed by the Senate. The commissioners employ a staff of engineers, accountants, attorneys, financial analysts, and other specialists in the field of utility regulation. My name is Charles Hatcher. I am the regulatory law judge and will preside over this hearing. As I stated before, and I'll state for the record, with me today are Chairman Scott Roop and Commissioners Maida Coleman and Glenn Kolkmeyer. This is an official hearing of the Missouri Public Service Commission, and the statements and testimony of witnesses will be recorded by the court reporter and are given under oath. The commissioners have not made any decisions in this case and cannot answer any questions today because they do have to remain impartial until after all of the evidence is presented. Brandy, I see that your hand is up. If you can hold on for just a moment, I will come around and address any questions. Let's go ahead and get our counsel to introduce themselves and make their entries of appearance. Counsel for Confluence Rivers.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening. David Woodsmall on behalf of Confluence Rivers Utility Operating Company, 1630 DePere Road, Suite 140, St. Louis, Missouri, 63131.
Thank you, sir. And for the commission staff.
Yes, this is Paul Graham for the staff of the Missouri Public Service Commission, and our address is on record in this file.
Thank you, sir. And for the Office of the Public Counsel.
Don Kleiser on behalf of the Missouri Office of the Public Counsel. My contact information can be found in the record. Thank you.
Okay, and just in case this is going to answer the next couple questions, I am going to call the names that I have listed. We requested anyone that wanted to testify to please email us. I have 2 names on my list. I'll call those names in order for testimony. I will also call for anybody that did not pre-register if they would like to offer any testimony. And the last thing is *6 to unmute. If you're on a telephone, the unmuting is a little bit different and you press *6. Okay, let's go to one of our participants, Brandy. You have your hand up. I don't know if that is an error or if you have a question. So Brandy.
Yes, I was just ready to make a statement, so I didn't know if that was the time to do this or not.
No, it will be in just a few moments.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and go through. I have 2 pre-listed customers that would like to speak. First, I'll call Kelly Meyer. And I just saw a question in the chat from John Newman. No, you have not missed your chance. Once again, after I call the 2 pre-registered witnesses, I will then ask for anybody in the audience who would also like to speak up. And so for right now, I'm keeping track. I'm going to call on Brandy after that, and then find that name again. John Newman, I think it was. Yes, John Newman. All right. So we have our list. Let's start with Kelly Meyer. Is there a Kelly Meyer? Meg, I see your hand. For right now, I'm going to assume that you also would like to speak, and I think that's a good method. If anyone else would like to, they can just hit that button that says raise your hand. Phone users, if you've called in, I'm not quite sure if that will happen. I will still offer that up to everyone. Kelly Meyer. Okay, we're going to put Miss Kelly Meyer to the bottom of our list. I will call Kelly Meyer once again before we adjourn. The next name I have is Joelle Willard. Joelle Willard. Okay, I will put Joelle Willard to the bottom of our list. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Okay, I thought that might be Joelle Willard. Let's go to the list that we have. First, I have Brandy, who I was just speaking to, and she unmuted. Go ahead. Brandy, first, would you please state and spell your first and last name for our court reporter?
My name is Brandy, Brandy McIntyre, McIntire.
Thank you. And Ms. McIntyre, I am going to swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead and give your comments to the commissioners, please.
Okay. So I live in the Hillcrest subdivision in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and we have had Confluence Rivers. I think it's almost close to 10 years now. And what they stated earlier was true. They did make improvements on the water from what we had before, but we have been paying now $150 to $200 per month for this whole entire time. And yes, what they said earlier was true. This particular case, they were requesting ours to go down. That's like $2. The reason why I wanted to state this is because this is our chance. I know how the Public Service Commission works now. I've become quite invested in this the past 10 years or so. So I know how it works, and I know that while they've been asking for an increase, that this is our one and only chance while this is open for discussion to try to get the Hillcrest rate down. Because it has been now close to so long that we've been paying these extremely high rates. And if you look at the other water sources around us, they don't pay anything like we do. I have been in touch with Senator Holly Rader's office with some help to try to get what we've experienced here in Hillcrest. I feel like I've been getting a little deja vu lately when I was on this call listening to some of the new homeowners in the other subdivisions that have been stating what they're seeing with Confluence. This is the exact same thing we went through so many years ago. They're saying all the same things. I'm in the business. I mean, I'm a business person, and I don't know how they can say they're not making a profit. Like they're not just doing this out of the goodness of their heart. I feel like that they take companies that are struggling and residential areas that are struggling, and they capitalize on that. And I feel for all of you that are on the call that are asking, well, will our rate go down? No, your rate will not go down until you get the opportunity that we're getting today to talk to the Public Service Commission again about what this company's done. Yes, the improvements have been there. Do they justify the high costs that we're all paying? Absolutely not still at this point. I can't personally still drink the water. It's high in chlorine. It does not taste right. I buy bottled water still. Of course, I cook with it. It's hard water. I've been through 3 hot water heaters since living here. gosh, it's Strickland Engineering. That's the people that come and read the meters. I don't know how much of our bill goes toward them. There's a truck here all the time. Literally, I feel like it's 24/7 driving around the neighborhood. What are they doing this entire time? I have no idea. I feel like that might be an absorbent cost that we're having to take on. The sewer still smells and reeks in the summer when it's super hot outside. Our bill in March was about $20 higher than normal because it said we used 8,900 gallons. We normally use 2,400 gallons. We were in the Dominican for a week in March on top of that. So I find that hard to believe. I had a case that I put into Public Service Commission for that. So overall, basically, my goal on tonight's call was to speak on behalf of the subdivision for Hillcrest, so other communities don't have to go through what we've been going through. And we hope that the Public Service Commission will not only deny their huge rate increase for these other subdivisions, but they will also relook at Hillcrest subdivision to try to get our water and sewer bills down to a more manageable cost. We have a lot of older people in this subdivision, a lot of older homes. And if you had a family larger than mine, they'd be paying even more than we are. So I encourage the Public Service Commission to really look closely at this company and what Hillcrest could be a poster child for what these other companies could be what these other subdivisions could be experiencing. So that's pretty much what I wanted to tell everyone.
Sure, and thank you. I appreciate your comments, Ms. McIntyre. If you could hold just a second, I'll ask if there's any questions from the commissioners.
Hey, Judge, this is Commissioner Roop. The only question I had was, Brandy, thank you for testifying. Who was the water provider, water sewer provider before Confluence 10 years ago?
It was an older gentleman named Bobby Brandon, and I'll fully admit he could not take care of what he had.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other commissioner questions? Okay, thank you. Ms. McIntyre, you are excused from our virtual witness box. Please stay on the call if you'd like and listen in as we go through. Mr. Newman, John Newman is the next name I have.
I'm here.
Yes, Mr. Newman, I would like to first ask if you could please spell your first and last name for our court reporter.
JONNEWMAN.
Thank you, Mr. Newman, and I'd like to swear you in before you give your statement. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And please go ahead.
I am here, also a resident of the Hillcrest subdivision, like Brandy. I have not lived here as long as Brandy. I moved to the neighborhood about 3.5 years ago. Our water bill here is consistently $160 to $170. It doesn't matter if we're not home, like Brandy mentioned, the water rate remains the same no matter what. And the water quality, like Brandy mentioned, is not very good. We still buy bottled water in our household. We purchased a water softener. Earlier, the Confluence Rivers somebody asked if they had plans to improve the water quality, and that was a no, that they do not plan to improve water quality. They said it was a type 1 and type 2. You're probably more familiar with that than I am. I'm just here to say that I'm basically here to back up Brandy's statements. I live right across the street from the lagoon, and you can smell it at night. We've contacted them about that. I couldn't tell you how many times. You can smell it, usually at night. I'll let my dog out, and it smells like sewage outside about 9 o'clock, usually. That's not every day. Right now it doesn't stink, but there's been often times where it does. And I'm just here to say that I hope that we can lower our water rates or hopefully lower our water rates and improve the quality of our water.
All right, thank you, Mr. Newman. Are there any commissioner questions for Mr. Newman, also of the Hillcrest system?
Hey, Judge, it's Commissioner Roop again. Thank you, John, for testifying. Do you find that the smell is usually just in the evening? You said around 9 p.m. Is it at different times of the day, or is it kind of consistently at that time of day?
I usually let my dog out about 9 o'clock before bed, so that's when I smell it. That's when I'm outside. I can't say that, but I also go outside during the day with my son, and I don't smell it during the day, but I do smell it at night. I've never smelled it during the day, but I do smell it at night sometimes.
Okay, great. Thanks for clarifying.
Thank you, Chairman. Are there any other commissioner questions for Mr. Newman? All right, Mr. Newman.
Your Honor?
Yes.
May I pose a question? Kleiser from OPC.
Oh, yes, Mr. Kleiser, go ahead.
Mr. Newman, if you're still available, you mentioned concerns regarding the quality of water service. Was that a matter of taste, hardness, or some other issue?
Hardness.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Mr. Newman? All right, we'll move on. And for everyone that is patiently waiting, the list I have now is going to go to Heath and Thomas Bridges, and then Meg, I see has their hand raised. And then after I call those two, I will ask if there's anyone else in the audience, and then I'll go back up to our two previously called names of Kelly Meyer and Joelle Willard. So Heather and Thomas Bridges, you're next up on our witness list.
All right, we're here, Judge.
Okay, thank you. And if I could get one of you to spell your names for the court reporter, and then after that, I will swear you in.
Okay, just to make it easier, I'll just give you my name. Thomas Bridges, ThomasBridges.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. And do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes, I think Brandy spoke to a lot of good points. I'm also from the Hillcrest community. And to what John was saying, we have filed many complaints about the lagoon. There's been nights where we can smell it inside of our house, that it was so strong. To the point my wife had called so many times that they told her the next time that they have to come out to check the lagoon that we would be charged for the service call. So that kind of covers the lagoon side of it. The water side of it, we moved here in 2019. Of course, whenever we were going through the buying process, when we got the comps to what the water bill would be, we were shocked. We were going from paying $40 a month for water, sewer, and trash to now $140 to $150 a month for just water and sewer. Having said that, we did purchase, but we've also had friends that have looked at purchasing in this neighborhood, and the reason they did not was because of the high fixed costs that water and sewer would be. So I know that Confluence was saying that the improvements they've made have made it to where you could get the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loans through here now, which may be true, but there's also another side to the sword where it is driving people away from this community. The water quality, just like John and Brandy have said, it's destroyed many of our appliances, the dishwasher, water heaters, coffee pots in particular, or coffee makers, I should say, which doesn't seem like a big expense, but if you're buying a coffee maker every year, then that adds up. But those are all the points I had.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Before you go, I'd like to see if there's any commissioner questions for Mr. Bridges. He's our third witness from Hillcrest.
Yes, Judge, this is Commissioner Kochmeyer.
Yes, Commissioner, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Mr. Bridges, I'm just inquiring, how many people live in the Hillcrest subdivision?
I'm not sure exactly. I would
Just
say
a ballpark.
a ballpark of 100 to 150 houses.
There's
Okay.
actually almost 300 houses. I
Okay.
think. Sorry,
Okay.
cut in.
No,
Bring
no.
it again.
Brent, no, that was just
Yeah.
my.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And this is for water and sewer.
Yes, sir.
That Confluence Rivers provides. Is there a breakdown on your bill, whether part of it's water and part of it's sewer?
Yes, I have that in front of me if you'd like to hear it.
Yes, please.
So this is for the month of May. Our water service base is $40.48. We use 2,370 gallons at 7.35, which comes to a total of $17.42. So our water service in total was $57.90, and our sewer service was $83.56. It does not break the sewer down into any other line items.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. That's all, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Are there any other commissioner questions? And I would like to clarify for our court reporter, that was Heather Bridges speaking, giving the response of the 300 houses. Was that correct?
No, Judge, that was Brandy.
Oh, thank you.
I believe.
Our first witness, Brandy McIntyre. I appreciate that, and our court reporter is going to appreciate that as well. Okay, let's go to Meg.
Hi, Your Honor.
Thank you. Meg, would you please spell your first and last name for our court reporter, and then I will swear you in.
Yes, sir. It's Megan, Megan, and Allen, Allen.
And Ms. Allen, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please go ahead with your comments.
Yes, sir. So as we knew that this meeting was coming, I kind of did a little research as far as national average compared to what we currently pay. So what I found, and these numbers are per Google, so take that as they will, shows the national average for a family of 4 for water is about $75. I currently pay a base of $145 for 3,000 gallons a month for a family of 2 in a 1-bathroom, 2-bedroom duplex. The neighboring city of Cape Girardeau pays for that same amount of water $39.03. And a town next to us on the other side, Gordonville, currently pays $32 for that same amount of water. We also do not consume our water. I have a refrigerated Brita water filter that I use for myself and my animals. We do cook, of course, with it. And that is due to taste and hard water. We have had to replace, as they've mentioned, numerous coffee pots, washers, dishwashers, even down to your clothes, that the wear and tear on them. So it just seems like Brandy stated, this is our one opportunity to get to let you all know exactly what's happening to us in this neighborhood. And people are having to just move out of the neighborhood to find more accessible, cost-effective water and sewer. I don't think that anyone should have to consider that for the normal amenities of water and sewer in this day and age.
Okay, thank you, Miss Allen. And I want to make sure and ask, what system are you currently receiving service from?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in Hillcrest subdivision as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any commissioner questions for Miss Allen? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Allen, thank you very much for your comments. As promised, first I am going to see if our initial pre-registered witnesses are here. Kelly Meyer. No
Judge,
response. Yes,
Judge, could you spell those names for me when you call them?
absolutely. Kelly is Kelly. Meyer is Meyer. No response. And Joel, spelled Joel. Willard, spelled Willard. Is there a Joel Willard here?
No, this is Matt Willard, her husband.
Oh, okay.
She was called to a meeting, and I was wondering if I could speak on her behalf.
How about you speak on your behalf?
Okay, if I can speak on my behalf, that'll be fine.
Absolutely. We've got the spelling of the name. And so, Mr. Willard, I'll go ahead and swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
Live in a subdivision or Lake Division, Terre-de-Lac, and talked earlier and found out that they're taking over our water, and the rate is going to jump like 200%. And there are a lot of elderly people that live on fixed incomes in this area. And I'm talking especially my mom and my mother-in-law. And they cannot afford that kind of rate increase. And to go from a $40 water bill up to a $100 and something water bill to $200 or 200% increase on water, which I know the man explained what all was going into this, but listening to all these other people on the water issues that they're having really just kind of, puts a bad thought into my head on what's actually coming in to this area. And it just doesn't seem right, especially for the elderly. And that's really just, what I've got to say on these type of situations for these type of folks, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much for your statement. Are there any commissioner questions for Mr. Willard?
Yes, Judge, it's Commissioner Kochmeyer.
Commissioner, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Willard, where do you live?
We live it's Bonne Terre, Missouri.
Okay. And you live in a subdivision, or is it, does Confluence River supply the town?
Well, they're going to, it's in a lake development.
Okay.
Terre-de-Lac.
Okay. And about how many people are in your area that's serviced by them?
I
Just a
couldn't
ball.
really say.
Okay.
Oh, man.
That's fine.
Quite a few. I mean, there's thousands, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Yep. That's all, Judge. Thank you, Mr.
And
Willard.
I would agree with what they said in the beginning. Yes, the water had not been taken care of,
Okay.
properly.
Uh-huh.
But I just can't see that kind of increase,
Okay. Thank you for your testimony. We appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mr. Willard. Are there any other questions for Mr. Willard? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Willard. You're, of course, free to stay on our conference call here.
You're
Checking, I'm at the end of my list, so as promised, I would like to ask if there's anyone in the audience that would also like to speak. I have a hand raised for Lynette Harrington. And Ms. Harrington, if you're on the phone, you'll need to press *6 to unmute. Or perhaps Lynette Harrington has their hand raised by accident. I don't see.
Judge, I would like to speak.
Yes, who's this?
My name is Kelly Wright, and I'm in the Fox Run subdivision in Kearney, Missouri.
All right. And Kelly Wright, if you could please spell your first and last name for our court reporter. And after that, I'll swear you in.
Okay. Kelly, Kelly, Wright, WRIGHT.
Thank you. And Mr. Wright, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. And please go ahead.
I would like to say that I understand that businesses have to raise rates. I understand that with all public utilities and all that. I do understand that there's maintenance stuff that needs to be upgraded. I just feel that a 85% increase is rather extreme. I know that we only have 40 homes in our subdivision here, but Confluence has also bought up a few and started new ones within a 5-mile radius from where this subdivision sits. So I do understand that. I just personally think that this kind of an increase, because I know just like any other public utility, they will be back, whether it be 3 years, 5 years is generally what you see, that I think there'll be asking for another rate increase. I just think that this is a pretty big bite out of the apple to want almost double the what we're paying. I understand that we only do sewer here in Fox Run. We do not have water through them. It sounds like we might be lucky in that regards. But I just think that an 85% increase is extreme, and would hope that the Public Commission would look at that and see something a little bit more leveling out, since the cost of living and people's salaries have not stayed pace with overall cost of food, gas, and daily necessities that individuals need, whether they're new families starting out right out of college or out of high school, or the elderly that live in the area. So I would just please ask the Commission to be prudent. I understand an increase is probably okay. I just think this amount is extreme. And I appreciate your time, Judge, and the Commission to listen to my statement.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Are there any questions for Mr. Wright? Okay, hearing none. The next witness I have is E.L. Harrington. This is, yes, thank you, and unmuted.
Yes. Yes, thank you. I didn't realize a moment ago I was muted.
Oh,
I
it
used my
happens to
middle
me
name.
all the time.
I used my middle name, Lynette. I did register to testify on the phone. Perhaps they used my full legal name, and maybe you don't recognize me on the list.
The two that I have, and this was the list given to me earlier on today, so it certainly might have been updated and I didn't get that. But I only had two names on the list, Kelly Meyer and Joelle Willard. But I am happy that you're here and online, and we are happy to have your testimony. First, if I can get you to spell your first and last name, I will then swear you in, and then you can give your statement to the commissioners.
All right. My full name is Elaine, Elaine, Lynette, Lynnette, Harrington, Harrington.
Thank you, Ms. Harrington. And do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please go ahead with your statement.
Well, I know that you're asking our opinion, how this rate affects us, and whether we support it or not. And this rate change proposed, I feel, is absolutely exorbitant. Aside from whether it's needed, it's exorbitant. I think it's punitive, and I think it does victimize a lot of people. And that's where I'm speaking on my behalf as a retired person. I have a fixed income now. I've newly retired. After 48 years, I came from Oregon. I retired from the federal government and the Treasury Department and bought this new home. And suddenly I'm strapped with a proposal that will increase the water that I've been paying, $55 a month for both sewer and water, by 144.9%. My sewer by 201.7%. Mathematically, these numbers are staggering. I know they propose the need, the science, the technology, but it comes to a fact that literally to make my budget work, their proposed increase will take half of my monthly food allowance. That's my reality. Also, buying the new home, carefully calculated, many years of saving. Suddenly I'm realizing from other people that their home doesn't have a value on the resale market. Not that I want to sell it, but that it's ruining the financial position that many of us felt we were in, month by month, immediately, but in the near future as they keep winning more and more and more. My family, my son and his wife live in St. Charles. They have 4 children, a very large home, and their bill for water and sewer is about $125 a month. The most expensive in the nation is supposed to be Alaska. That happens to be where my first son was born. That's about $100 a month. From 2021, I'm sure it's gone up. This rate change will affect many, many people in many, many ways. And speaking on behalf of the many retired people, the fixed income, this creates a terrifying uncertainty in our life in view of the fact that our Social Security is being challenged. Our pensions are being challenged in the near future. It's hard to sleep at night when suddenly something can grab your whole life like this proposal can do. In the beginning, a little bit, but we can see it's more and more and more and more, and it will continue. I wish we had a way to have public provision of water that would equalize things. It would be kinder to humanity to be able to provide water necessary for actual vital living in a more equitable manner than letting a private investor-owned company come in and do their so-called little kind works to help all of us who have really bad water. It's exorbitant. It has a huge impact on many people, a devastating impact. I am hoping that the Public Service Commission will deny this request for this exorbitant rate hike and more closely review this company, and especially their bad history, which is out there in the public to find, and consider these factors in their decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harrington. Before I open this up for questions, I did want to ask, what system are you receiving service from?
Yes, I moved into Glen Meadows Estates. I understand that prior to that, we were with another company. The people didn't even know there had been a takeover. I tried to find somebody to pay a water bill to, and it was in limbo because of whatever was going on. I'm the one of these 230 homes and the homeowners association who actually found the Confluence Rivers people and got a hold of them and asked to send me my bill. I just moved here. I need to pay my utilities. I understand that the owner of the Glen Meadows estate had our own private well. So the water belongs to the estate through this private well. I don't know very much about private wells, but I do know that there's a big problem because there's unpleasant odor that comes up from the drains. When the water sits stagnant in between using the dishwasher, it putrefies. So I know there's something there. It's not to be vain, but it's totally ruined my hair, and I don't understand. I hear people are talking about hard water and chemicals, and I'm not confident that all of this money that they want from us will provide the so-called solution that they're presenting. Oh, in Glen Meadows Estates, I don't believe there's any kind of a meter here. So I'm by myself. I use very little water compared to a big family. So I know that rate hike is, I feel, not logically proportionate to what my use actually is either.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Harrington. Are there any commissioner questions for Ms. Harrington? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and move on. I have a hand raised, but it is from one of our staff, Ms. Walters. Oh, sorry, I announced an accidental striking of the keyboard. My mistake. Okay, back to our witnesses. Are there any other witnesses who would like to testify this evening? I don't have any more on my list.
I'd like to.
Yes, and please spell your name for our court reporter.
It's Raymond, R-A-Y-M-O-N-D. Last name Petrick, it's P.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the spelling of the last name.
Yep, and I believe the caller got muted. Oh, and now they are unmuted. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, it kept prompting me to unmute after I had. It's Raymond, R-A-Y-M-O-N-D, and the last name is Petrick. It's P-I-E-T-E-R-I-C-K.
Okay, and Mr. Petrick, I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
I'm in Berkshire Glen subdivision, Kearney, Missouri. We have sewer-only service from Confluence. I don't know the exact date when they took over service. When we first built our house, moved here, we had another company, and then they eventually bought them out. It's maybe like 6 years ago or something. When they first took over, we had a proposed rate increase, which I think was something similar to what we're seeing now, or maybe was more like 100% at the time, because then there was like a small rate increase approved. At the time when we had the rate increase, we actually lost services from our perspective. We had a yearly inspection on each person's septic system, the individual holding tanks in each person's yard. We lost that and had this small rate increase. We since had a chance to ask questions. It sounds like there are investments being made, but obviously the 85% seems steep. The other concern is just around, to me, the business model is that, we weren't really given assurances that, we're looking at this long term, we're making this investment, this will be your new rate, and it'll be fairly stable. It sounds like as other systems are taken over, we might see more rate increases, which, comes across like we're subsidizing on these other acquisitions. It also just sounds like, the business model is just to acquire these systems kind of aggressively. Maybe they're not getting them for the, proper price, fair price, because counting on being able to do these rate increases they can pass on. So, that's one of my biggest concerns is we don't want to set this precedent where, yeah, they can justify this rate increase saying it's investments to us, but then, it shouldn't turn around and be that there's additional increases because, they've got, these investments and other acquisitions or whatever. They should have a viable business model where, they've got a long-term plan, and then these things should stabilize more. And it also just kind of comes across like the way this is being done is, we're talking about, we're giving you safe water, we're giving these services, and it's like, what are you willing to pay for safe water? Obviously safe water is important, but it should be a fair price for safe water, as other people have given their testimony, how these rates are comparing to, averages, whether it's national averages or, local communities around them and whatnot. It just seems like this is kind of exorbitant and, even worse if this is not going to kind of stabilize.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pietrick. Are there any questions for Raymond Pietrick? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, sir. Once again, I'll call for any persons that are on the call that would like to testify to the commissioners.
Yes, I'd like.
Yes, go ahead. If you could please spell your first and last name for a court reporter, and then I'll swear you in.
My name is Gary Ewert, G-A-R-Y-E-W-E-R-T. And
let me swear you in,
my
Mr.
comment is, yes.
Yeah, I'll need to. Mr. Ewert, I need to swear you in first.
I'm talking over you.
That's okay. With this little bit of a delay, it gets very confusing very quickly. I will swear you in real quickly, and then please give your comment. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Ewert. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. I also agree with a lot of the people who have testified that an 85% increase seems like an excessive amount. I do understand the upgrades that need to be done, but 85% all at once and then no assurance that it wouldn't come again in a fairly short amount of time just seems like an awful lot. I am one of the fortunate ones. I get my water from a different source, so my water is actually very inexpensive. I checked my average, and over the last 3 years, my average water bill was $50 a month. The sewer bill will go up to $85 a month. That seems like quite a bit of an increase. One of the things that bothers me about this is we talk about all the different subsidies, about one system subsidizing another system. One of the reasons my water bill is as low as it is I'm retired. My wife and I live alone. There's only 2 of us. So it seems like we are subsidizing larger families. In the day and age of computers, it seems like it would be easy enough to prorate the bill based on either water usage or the number of people living in a household and even that out a little bit. I think that's probably the main portion of my comment.
Thank you, Mr. Ewert. And what system do you receive your sewer service from?
We live in private gardens, and Confluence Rivers supplies the sewer service.
And that is private?
And of course, even so, like they pointed out earlier in this meeting, they only take what comes out of our septic tank. We're still responsible for maintaining our own septic tanks. And another gentleman pointed out earlier that even though the rate was much lower when we moved into this house 12 years ago, all the maintenance on the septic system was included in that rate. Now the bill's already gone up once, and at the same time they dropped all the maintenance on our septic tanks, and quite a few of the septic tanks in private gardens are having issues. And so that's no small expense either. Even though Confluence Rivers never sees that expense, that's an expense that the homeowner does see.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ewert. Are there any questions for Mr. Ewert? Okay, hearing none. I believe I saw one other person who had unmuted and was trying to speak in order to give their testimony. Is there anyone else on our call who would like to? There we go.
Yes, hi.
Yes, if you
my
could.
name is Deborah Morgan.
Okay, and
that is
go ahead.
DebraMorgan.
And let me swear you in, Ms. Morgan. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
I was a negotiator at a water utility in St. Louis County, and I know that you asked for 85 to 200% rate increase, hoping to get 50%. And the consumer will think that we have won, even though the increase is still an exorbitant amount. I want everyone on the call to remember that if a rate increase is approved by the PSC, my ask is that the PSC will remember and take into account that, as everyone knows, the cost of living wage increases of the customers being affected has not been equal to the percentage amount that's being asked. And I don't know where money's going to come from for people who are getting anything over a 1% increase. You know, my average wage increase, and this is something that is pretty much the way it is 3% a year, and we are lucky to get that. Now, Confluence Rivers still needs to get paid for the work that they are promising to do, and where's that money going to come from? I don't know. We've had 3 boil orders since I've lived in this subdivision, Majestic Lakes, for 1.5 years. And where did the money come from prior to now that should have fixed the issues a year ago and still haven't been fixed? So I just wanted to make that statement.
I appreciate you making that statement. I'm going to ask if there's any commissioner questions for Ms. Morgan. Okay, hearing none. Ms. Morgan, I do appreciate you and all of our other witnesses taking time out of your day to participate by phone. The commission does have these online hearings in order to allow a larger audience to participate. That said, are there any other witnesses that would like to testify? If not, I'm going to be closing the hearing in the next minute or two. One last call for any witnesses that would like to testify this evening. Okay. Before I give my closing comments, I will ask if there's any closing commentary that are closing remarks from any of the commissioners.
Hey, Judge, this is Commissioner Roop. Just wanted to thank everybody for testifying. Appreciate the honesty and the comments. And Judge, I appreciate a very well-run WebEx hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, Judge. This is Commissioner Kochmeyer.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yes, no, I just want to ditto the chairman's remarks and thank everyone for their comments this evening, and well done this evening, Judge, on your part. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right. I do also want to echo the commissioner's comments. Thank all of the participants. I know that these telephone hearings can be both productive and a little awkward at the same time, and I appreciate everyone taking time out of their day. If you do have any additional comments, or you know of someone who could not be present and would like to comment, you may make written comments by going to the PSC's webpage. That is psc.mo.gov, and I believe the submit comments link is in the upper right-hand corner of that page. You can also submit any questions or comments to the Office of the Public Counsel, and that is Mr. Kleiser, who has been with us here on our hearing today. You can email those questions to mopco@opc.mo.gov. Again, that's mopco@opc.mo.gov. And one last piece of information, if anyone needs the Confluence Rivers customer service line, toll free, that is 866-945-3920. Thank you all. The hearing is now adjourned and we are off the record.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, council. Everyone enjoy the rest of your evening.